What it is, what it do, what it be like, what's good, what's hood. It's your boy Martin Hopeful. One third of the Camp Focus podcast back at it once again, solo dolo. And honestly, it's because I am following this whole Yasin Bey Drake situation. You guys have been following this Drake Yasin Bey situation, and it seems like it's the gift that keeps on giving. My boy now, Common, has something to say. I wasn't expecting that, but he was on Ebro's talk show, and he has some things to say about Drake. Let's talk about it real quick.
I think, to me, um, I think Drake comes from hip hop. Like when I first heard him rhyming, I was like, yo, this dude rhyming. Yeah. And he was,
Yeah,
and if he goes out and makes songs that are popular,
surprising.
that's what it is.
But he's still an MC.
And also Drake's never Pitbull. He never went Flow Rider Pitbull with the pop.
Listen, I mean, the dude is an incredible songwriter. He's an incredible artist, man. Yeah. Like you can't touch that many people without having some type of, especially on for a long enough period of time as he's been doing it. Like it's pop artists, excuse me, it's pop artists that they have a hit and it's gone and you forget, oh, who was that? But I mean, this man has touched different aspects of culture, and been able to continue. People if they.
So what's so surprising about this is that Common is known, like early in Drake's career, to have an ongoing feud with him. I'm not too sure if Drake ever made any responses. And I'm sorry for not giving my research on that, but I just know Common ripped him apart on several songs, called him Canada Dry. I remember one of his songs was called Sweet. I think it was on the Dreamer Believer album. And he basically ripped apart Drake on that song. So in my mind, I'm like, him taking Drake's side in this was mind-boggling. But men grow up, they change, and sometimes they can be very unbiased. Even though they may have hate for a dude, they can be unbiased and still show respect where respect is due. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this is what we're seeing right now. But let's continue on.
You got to have some respect and know that, like, yo, this dude is a very talented artist.
And at the same time, I think you said it, Rosenberg. Everything's right in the world when Mos Def has a problem with someone like Drake's consumerism. Like that's Most isn't supposed to.
Right.
That's who Yasin Bey is.
It's very on brand for him.
Yo, Yasin and Yasin is a genius, man. Like I've been around that dude, and I'm like, and I've watched him as an actor, as an artist, and I listen to a lot of his raps and be like, yo, this dude he's like very like high level when it comes to like poetic rap and just not even just poetic rap, but I'm saying he has poetry within his rap.
Just a small brief recap. So Common's on Ebro's show. He's giving props to both Drake and Yasin Bey. And specifically, he's saying basically what it is. Drake is hip hop to him, or that he came from hip hop. And this is something that I just want to confirm. I said this many times. I think Drake is cut from a cloth of hip hop that's very rare. He has done songs with some amazing lyricists that are really good at hip hop. They're really good at putting words together. They're really good at making cultural defining songs, even though they're not really that known. Like Little Brother is not that known, but they make culturally dynamic songs for the culture. And they pick and choose really wisely who they do songs with. And if they did songs with Drake, it shows a lot about Drake. And I think that just confirms to me that we're all on the same page when it comes down to hip hop. And I'm just so glad that once again we're having older generation heads and newer generation heads to come and talk about this situation with Drake. So there's something else in the water that's being said right now about Drake, and it's dealing with colorism. And I kind of want you guys to hear it because it's coming from from Lil Wayne.
The Green Bay of the rap game in terms of what you did with Young Money. You got Drake, you got Nicki. You picking them too now.
I mean, I get that from being around Birdman and Slim. I always looked at how the hell y'all saw what y'all saw in us. We was kids.
Why they be hating on Drake like this? That's what I don't understand.
He red. He light skinned.
That's true.
He likes it. We've been doing that. That's history. That's just American history, man. That's American history. How I know is because I'm not light skinned. I hated on all light skinned dudes in school. So yeah, that's American history, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
So Wayne is basically saying he's getting a lot of hate because he light skinned. It's not a coincidence that he's saying that. Yasin Bey is dark skinned. He's a dark skinned man, at least compared to Drake. Between Drake and Yasin Bey, the lighter man is Drake. So I feel like Lil Wayne is choosing his words. He said, "Yo, people like to hate on people because of the light skin. It's history." Now, while I agree, colorism is a prevalent thing in our culture, and that's something that needs to stop. And there is hate in colorism. However, I just don't see that being a thing. If you look at that interview with Yasin Bey and the young lady on the cutting room floor, you will see that it is not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a hate that's on Drake, and yes, that hate is rooted in colorism because he's light skinned, he's considered soft, and most light skinned people they're emotional, they're soft, and things like that. And we always had those jokes. Drake, the type of dude to slap another dude in the butt and say good game. He the type of dude to cry and do this and this, that, and the third. He did like all these different things. While I see that being the situation, Drake literally makes songs that's like this. It caters to it even more. It caters more to the light-skinnedness, I guess you could say. He makes music for the heartbroken. He makes music for the emotional. He makes music. He makes music where it's like, I'm hurt, so now I'm gonna go and hurt all the other women because I was hurt by this one girl. He makes that kind of music, and it's still considered pop music, and his music is still on top. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the colorism thing is real, but I feel like with Yasin Bey, I feel like it had nothing to do with the colorism, had everything to do with just the style of music that he's making. I'm looking back on something I said about this whole Yasin Bey or the Lil Wayne situation, right? I think that, and I just want to make sure I choose my words wisely here. I believe that Drake's success is, you can attribute his light-skinnedness. You can attribute that to his success as well. You can look at that and say he's successful because he's also he fits the tone of like what the white man would want a black man to look like. And that's a really weird statement to say, but it's a lot of people who get the big roles, the heroic roles in movies are light-skinned people. The people that are the most likable are the light-skinned people. Even in Japanese anime, as I watch Japanese anime and I'm a huge fan of it, the lighter skinned person that looks more European with the blonde hair and blue eyes and things like that, they're more connected. They get more connection to the audience, and they get more love, they get more remorse, and they're the ones that get the leading role. But then you see that there's people that actually look like Japanese people in their anime, and it's lower. So there's a depth to being light skinned. There's a depth to being dark skinned. What Lil Wayne is saying holds weight. I just don't think that's what Yasin Bey was trying to portray. I just wanted to say that part. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm just pushing away what Lil Wayne said and saying, "Oh, that don't make no sense." It makes sense, but you have to look at that interview to understand why that may not be the case in this situation, if that makes any sense. But what do you guys think? Type up in the comments, do a little back and forth, some arguing. Is the reason why Drake gets a lot of hate, it's because he's light skinned? Or is it the fact that he's the most successful artist? Or maybe it's both? What do you guys think? What's your viewpoint on the subject matter? And get back to me. Once again, this is the Can Focus Podcast. My name is Martin Hopeful, and I'll holler at you later. Peace.